Dixon. Originally from Youngstown, Ohio. I actually live in a suburb, small suburb called Poland, and went to Marietta College. I graduated with an athletic training degree and became a certified athletic trainer. My recruiting process probably started with some like more local schools or schools that were closer to me. So Marietta was about 2.5 hours to 3 hours away for me. So really my recruiting process probably started with, I think Mount Union was probably one of the first ones to recruit me, which is only 40 minutes away, and then Westminster as well. They came to a lot of my stuff. And then really the biggest thing for me was just going to camps. I really didn't send out a whole lot of information to people. I only went to, I think it was 2 or 3 showcases, something like that. So one of them was Marietta. Crazy thing about it was I was like injured before I went to the camp at Marietta, and I'll never forget it. Before I went, I told my mom, I was like, I don't want to go to this camp. She's like, I just got a feeling you should go to this camp. They're a good program. You should go. And little did I know that was going to be the school that I selected later on. But I mean, that was at that camp I got a couple more like interest from a couple other schools. It was really just the program itself and everything they had to offer. So I mean, it's it's a very unique experience you get there. You get sold out crowds of 1,000+ people, packed gyms and stuff like that, which is somewhat rare for a small Division III school, and even when you go up the ladder into a Division II school or low D1 school, you sometimes don't see those numbers of fans and that community support. So that was huge. I'd say I love the coaching staff right from the beginning, and then I really felt like it was just a good fit for me. I really thought that Marietta was a similar fit as like what Poland was essentially, like as far as town wise. Poland's like a small town, and I'd say that the sports programs are pretty appreciated and stuff like that. Like you get a decent amount of fans going to games and stuff. So I think when I was looking at colleges, I really thought that would be something big, is that there'd be a community support or something like that behind the program and stuff like that. It's really nice to just kind of know that all the hard work you're putting in and stuff like that is valued. Now I'm not saying that if you go to a school that doesn't have that, your hard work isn't valued at all or anything like that. But it's just that little extra that kind of helps a little bit. So I mean, yeah, I think that was probably the biggest thing with Marietta is that, and the community support, and it's a great academic school as well. They have this program called the Foster Family Program, where when you get on campus, you get a host family that's basically just lives in the town of Marietta there. And you get introduced to them, and I mean, for me, over my 4 years, I grew extremely close to my host family. I mean, even now, I'm still really close with them. Even my mom and my aunt are super close to my foster mom. I mean, we've talked about going and visiting her even well after I'm done playing and stuff like that. So it's just really unique, the relationships I was able to build there as well. Originally, I think it was just for the basketball program, and then it has branched out some to other athletic programs, but yeah, it's just for athletes, I'm pretty sure. So I think the football team, I think it was a couple years ago, also kind of started it, and then I think it's the women's basketball team also has it, and maybe like one other sport, but just a super unique perk that like I was kind of like pretty sold on right when I heard it. It's a good selling point for them for sure. I guess the most memorable ones for me are ones where like there was something where adversity had kind of struck a little bit, or had been consistent throughout my years there. So like one that sticks out is like my senior year, my freshman, sophomore, and junior year, we had always lost at John Carroll, and going into my senior year, obviously never won there or whatever. So that was like a really big game for us, and we ended up going there and winning. So I feel like that would be definitely one of them. After experience and 3 straight losses there or whatever, and then being able to win their senior year was a really memorable moment. And then obviously just like any of like the tournament games, any of those like the OAC tournament games, any of the NCAA tournament games that we got to host and stuff like that are just always memorable. You run out and you have 1,200 people packed in a small gym or whatever. Like, you feel like it's freaking 20,000 people or whatever. So I don't know if I could really sit back and look at any other like specific moment. But it's just really just a super memorable 4 years in total. I guess I would look back at like my sophomore year. Our tournament run was pretty awesome. Because my freshman year we lost in the first round. So coming back the next year, we kind of had a chip on our shoulder. So being able to come back the next year and go a little bit further in the tournament, especially on our home court and stuff. Yeah, but besides that, it's so many when you like sit back and look at it. And I know like when I sit down and talk with some of my teammates or whatever, like we constantly are just like, you remember when this, or remember this game, you remember this game. There's just so many ones that you just kind of like, you almost like sometimes forget about them until somebody brings them up and you're like, wow, that really was pretty awesome. Honestly, my days were pretty busy in school. I was an athletic training major, and that pretty much requires you to do rotations, outside of school. So literally my whole senior fall, I had to be with the football team, and work with them, go to their practices, go to their games, all that stuff, basically until the basketball season started. So my days were pretty packed, because a lot of times football had practice in the afternoon or something like that. So I'd be waking up early in the morning to do lifting that I was going to miss for later on in the afternoon. Then go into class during the day. Maybe during the day I do our conditioning sessions. Then I would go to football at night. And then literally by the time I get done with football, it's 9 o'clock at night or whatever, and I got schoolwork to do and stuff like that. So really, especially during the school week, my days were super packed, especially during the off season and stuff like that, with balancing rotations for athletic training, school, and then basketball on top of that. It definitely like helped me time manage a lot. I learned how to use every single minute of the day. I think that's a big thing with that. We had fun, of course. I played video games and stuff like that, like anybody else, and did all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I was just super busy with school and with my rotations and with basketball most of the time. So, I wouldn't trade that for anything. I always thought about maybe trying to go play, overseas or something like that. But didn't really know if I was ever going to have a chance to really do that. So I saw a D3 Hoops article about, this program, and I started reading up on it and stuff like that. And it almost sounded too good to be true almost, with everything that it was offering and stuff. I'd always wanted to study abroad as well. And just never was able to really do that with basketball for an extended period of time. So when I saw that program, I was like, wow, it's amazing. It's everything that I was kind of looking for. And, being able to go over there and mentor and interact with the youth there and citizens there was just super impactful. It's work that, I might not show the effects of it right now, but, just sitting down with a kid right now and, just having a talk with them is something that maybe you might not think of is a real big deal, but at the end of the day, it might make their day or something like that. It could change their week, their month, whatever it is. It could change their life. Just small little steps like that, and just having a general interaction with those young people. It's super impactful, and it was something that, when I look back at my time there, like interacting with all those kids, it's awesome. Yeah, it was an awesome experience. It was interesting. It was I would say probably a tough adjustment for me, somewhat. Some of that has to do with just there's a rule in the Irish league that only one American could be on the floor as another at the same time. So splitting time and playing reduced minutes and stuff like that can kind of suck sometimes when you're used to playing 30 some minutes a game or whatever in college. So that took some adjustment, no doubt about it. But besides that, I mean, it was just great to really just live a dream that I'd been thinking about when I was in college and stuff like that, and didn't really think that I was going to have an opportunity to do that. So when the opportunity presented itself with that program, I was pretty psyched about it. But yeah, masters wise, I'm getting a master's in sports coaching and performance. So I'm actually working on my dissertation right now for that. It'll be due in September. So working on that right now. But yeah, besides that, trying to use that master's basically just to kind of educate myself more on the coaching profession a little bit, and how I can become a better coach, and better lead and mentor athletes essentially, which I feel like that master's definitely helped out a lot with some of the things that I learned and stuff like that. Yeah, so I mean, I think all along I always kind of knew that I was going to want to remain attached to basketball in some way, or sport in some way. And ultimately, I had debated, whether that would be more in a skills training role or what that would be in. But at the end of the day, I really kind of realized that looking back on my sporting experience, my coaches really had a profound impact on, who I am and on my life in general. So I really feel like that role as a coach can give you really just profound purpose in life, and that's a big thing for me, is I want to do something that's going to give me purpose, and I feel like being able to interact with athletes every day, student athletes every day, and help them, develop into good people and stuff like that is something that would be super rewarding and super impactful. Something I see a lot of times is just guys almost getting discouraged if they're not getting playing time and stuff like that, and not getting the minutes they think they deserve, essentially. So I think the biggest thing with that is just make sure you're ready, stay ready so you don't have to get ready, essentially. There's plenty of opportunities out there, but if you're not ready for that moment when it comes, then then you're never gonna really make it with that kind of stuff. So I would say just put the work in, make sure you're always ready, stay ready so you don't gotta get ready, and always be confident in yourself that and your ability and the work that you put in. Marietta wasn't the cheapest option at all. There were schools that were cheaper than it and stuff like that, and I kind of knew that going in. But at the end of the day, for me, I realized in the long run that getting a good college experience is worth investing and putting the money into it. And I feel like that's really important for now. Take a little bit of loans and stuff like that, and you can invest in yourself to be at a good school. I mean, I think it's the right move, especially if it's the right fit. Like, I don't think there's any sense in going to a school that doesn't fit you just because it's a little bit cheaper. Now, I mean, obviously that's coming from me, who, I was fortunate enough to have some backing and stuff like that. So I can completely understand if somebody, can't afford it or whatever. There are certain different circumstances than mine. But if you can, investing in yourself and putting the money up and taking a little bit more loans than what you may have needed to, is so worth it in the long run if you know that program is the right fit for you.